made some progress on the Mega Truck over the last week or so. I had a number of things that I wanted to get done, and I had some parts coming in here that I really wanted to be ready for when they arrived. First thing that you'll notice on this thing is that I've got the shocks on there, and it's all mounted up in its roller state right now, almost. The shocks you see here are some Boom Racing, something I've never actually heard of that brand before. I'm sure they've probably been around, but it's just new to me, not something I had looked into previously. Now, I ordered these shocks. They're 120 millimeter length, a nice good diameter on them. Looks like they should have a decent amount of dampening power, and came with a couple of different spring rates in the package for me to test around with. So in preparation for those shocks to come in, I welded on the new shock mounts. Now, for the shock mounts, I use the same technique that I've been using, a 1/2 inch square stock, bottom cut off, hole drilled through them, gives you a nice double shear mount, super simple, super easy, and fairly clean. One thing that I failed to notice when I was doing this though, these reservoirs on these shocks are fairly large. Now, that became a problem. Something that I overlooked was that when mounting the shocks the way that I was planning on it, that would put the reservoirs sticking out. Well, the problem with that is that now they don't clear the body. And I don't want to cut the body just for these reservoirs to pop out, especially because they're a fairly large reservoir, and I don't think that they really flow perfectly with the scale that I'm going for. So I am going to stay with these shocks, but what I'm likely going to have to do is cut off these shock mounts, rotate them 90 degrees to keep that reservoir more parallel with the chassis. So that's unfortunate, but it's something that I should have either thought a little bit further into, or I should have waited till I had the shocks to actually fabricate on the chassis. That was just me being slightly impatient, and it came back to bite me. So I will have to redo those here, and hopefully I can get to that in the next week or so. Next, you will notice that it's sitting on its own legs, and it also, you can see this drive shaft hanging down there. That's a Revo drive shaft that's been drilled out to 8 millimeters for the transmission side. You can see that hiding in there is that Harley Edition Super Shafty Vanquish special anodized transmission case from Rick at supershafty.com. Rick did these up for me. He sold 25 of them. I think they're all gone now, but there's one left, and you can find that in the February giveaway. If it's still February, go find the giveaway video, comment on it. There'll actually be a link to it at the very end of this video if you want to hang around. To mount that transmission in there though, I needed to finish the skid plate. The skid plate is something that I hadn't done yet. So you'll notice here that I went with some more of that same thick 1/8 inch steel that I was using for the side plates. Then I also decided to fabricate this kick up in the front, hoping to give me a little bit better transition as if any mud, when any mud will hit the front of the chassis. Hopefully it will keep the nose up a little bit. Probably overthinking it a little bit, but every little bit counts, and hopefully that helps out a little bit. I did add a nice big notch in it for the proper drive shaft clearance for those 8 millimeter outputs feeding those Revo shafts. Now for links, I've played around with the links a little bit, trying to adjust length and wheelbase and things like that. I want to make sure that my shock angles match properly and go down to the axle and have a nice aesthetic look as far as coming from the chassis and then angling out towards the axle. I don't want them too straight up and down, or definitely not inwards. So I do need to do a little bit more adjusting on the links before I finalize that. Earlier this week, I'd been sitting down here in the shop kind of just staring at this thing, seeing what I wanted to do, seeing if there's any other touches or anything like that. And I had this model motor sitting down here. This is an 8 scale monogram motor. I think it came out of a kit from the 90s. It actually came out of a Corvette model, but I have no idea when it was produced. I found it on eBay for about 20 bucks. It had a crossfire injection manifold and all that on it. I took that off though, because that wasn't the look I was going for. This was actually destined for my rock bouncer project, which right now I just kind of got sitting on the back burner because I'm not exactly sure how I want to proceed with that. But that's a whole other issue. So, staring at this thing, kind of was thinking that it would probably look pretty good sitting in the rear of this truck, kind of that rear engine monster truck look. So I did a little bit of mock-up and came up with an idea. I kind of rested it in the back of the chassis similar to this. I've got it supported currently off of a couple of pieces of TIG filler rod. But I kind of like where this is headed, and I think this is something that I'm going to follow through with. Now, like I said before, there's no intake manifold or anything like that on top of it right now. And I had removed all that with the intention of modeling up and then 3D printing my own manifold. And the good news is that after about 14 weeks of waiting, I got shipping confirmation today for my 3D printer. So hopefully I see that 3D printer here before the end of the week. I couldn't be more excited, and I'm just going to keep hitting refresh on that FedEx tracking page until it shows up here at my door. So once that arrives, I do have some work to do to try and make sure that I know how the machine is working, how exactly I need to approach everything, but this is something that I would definitely like to do. And actually building some scale engines in general is something that I would like to do more of with that printer specifically. So hopefully down the road we see some cool things like that. But for now, I'm going to adapt it to work with the parts that I have. So that's kind of the progress that we've come to. Over the last week I have worked on it quite a little bit, got some motivation to work on it a little bit more. We've got an event coming up this spring where it should be a lot of fun to run these things. I'm really looking forward to that thing, and I think that we'll see some cool coverage out of that out of a couple of different sources. So I still do have a laundry list of things to do. I need to adjust my links a little bit longer. I need to cut off all of my shock mounts and come up with a different way to fabricate those on. I need to hit some of the scale details that I would like to do. I'm thinking about doing a little bit of a simple interior in this thing as well. Beyond that, there's just a lot of little things that need to be wrapped up. I still need to pick up the power system for this. I've decided on the brand new Castle Creations 8th scale Sidewinder system. It's a brand new system from Castle that's waterproof out of the box, kind of like the Mamba Monster Max, but it's their Sidewinder version. So 2200 kV 8th scale motor. Should be a lot of fun in this truck on 3 and 4S. So looking forward to playing with that a little bit. That should hopefully be in mid-February, which is around the corner. So not too long of a wait before I hopefully see one of those myself. There's a few other possibilities hopefully coming down the line here soon. I got a message the other day from a guy who was looking at possibly doing some custom mega truck wheels. Some custom 3.2 inch wheels would be perfect for this truck, and I would love to go to a 17mm hex rather than the 14mm that I'm currently planning on using. So if that all works out, could really add some cool factor to this truck, and I always love some custom parts. Really looking forward to having this thing done. I think this mega truck thing could actually gain a little bit of steam, and as much as I hate mud, I think if I build this thing right, I can make this thing a little bit easier to maintain as far as that nasty, muddy mess goes that this thing will be as soon as it comes out of that hole. So that's all I got for right now, guys. Jump over and find the giveaway video. There'll be a link to it at the end of this video where I'll be giving away one of those Harley Edition transmission cases. Jump over to the Facebook. It's facebook.com/HarleyDesigns. You'll see a lot of the midweek updates I do, little pictures, parts that come in, different chatter about things going on around here in the shop, things like that. And also jump around to Super Shafty's Facebook as well, and thank Rick for giving away one of those transmission cases himself. But that's all I got for now. Thanks a bunch. Subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys next time for episode 5.